Hello, today I'm going to be talking about income inequality and some of the trends that we're experiencing in that. Start with what is income inequality? Well, income inequality is the difference that people receive in income, either as individuals or as a family, from all sources of income that they may have. We often talk about it in terms of quintiles. Quintiles being 1/5 of the population, and we take the bottom quintile and go on up. And the modules has something similar to that. It's kind of showing you what some of the impacts are. Is it justified? Well, to some degree, of course, it must be justified. Those of us who work hard, or those of us invest in our future, whether in business or in education, those of us who work at risky jobs, a variety of reasons. Some income inequality is, of course, justified. We feel that if you work hard and you invest, you deserve. However, sometimes other things are not as deserved, such as if you're white, you get paid more. If you're tall, you get paid more. If you're male, you get paid more. If you're better looking, you get paid more. Now, these are harder to justify. And to some degree, of course, even those who are of immense talent, such as Tiger Woods, quite possibly are getting more than what you could justify just based upon anything like ability. But income inequality is a real problem because it's getting worse. The graph behind me kind of gives you an idea. It's based upon individual income. It's an interesting situation where if you look over the left at 1980s, which is a real watermark for us, change of administration and change of general policies, where the United States went from a kind of a liberal nation to a more conservative nation in terms of public policy, you can see that the top 1% went from, 11, 12% of total income to 26.5%. And the bottom 50% of all of us went from over 20% down to about 12.5%. That's a big difference. It's hard to justify something like this. And we know there are some of the figures that are obvious, such as CEOs in America get paid 350 to 400 times as much as the average worker in their corporations. Whereas in Europe, it's only maybe 45 times as much. And some of our most successful corporations, such as Costco, has nowhere near that distinction between the average salary and the CEOs. But a lot of it's also based upon inherited wealth, reduction in taxes for those who are wealthy, particularly reduction in taxes on money that you've already made. So if you're making money off your money, you pay less in taxes, which is a huge advantage. Those who actually have to work for it pay more. And of course, recent tax changes by the Republicans in 2017 changed things sufficiently on a tax basis now that, so if you consider state and local taxes as well as national taxes, the low income among us pay a higher percentage of their income in taxes than do the wealthiest among us. Doesn't seem quite right when you see the differences that are occurring. We are now in about the bottom 5% of all countries, and we are the worst of any industrialized nation in terms of income inequality. Some of the issues have come from trade. Some have come from automation. Some of them come from other areas. I personally do not think that China is responsible for our issues. I think we are. We have not invested in people. Many of us, our citizens grow up in poverty, which means they probably did not succeed as far as they could succeed. And we have let our infrastructure and schools deteriorate to a very large degree, going from the number one in terms of educated population in the world by a long ways down to number 8 at this time. What are the effects? Well, I'm not going to talk about too many of the facts because the Wilkinson video, which is in the module you're looking at, is outstanding. Also look at the bottom video. Elaine de Botton talks about success, but what it's really talking about is how we look at people and how we define other people as being successful or not successful. And that can make the income inequality that we're dealing with even more burdensome and may help explain why we see the social dysfunction that comes and is demonstrated in the Wilkinson video. Look at them carefully. I will be examining actually on those issues. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.